WhiteDetails, welcome to part 2 of the Maserati MC Stradale Centennial edition. Got a rare thing, it's here for 4 days, maybe 4.5, minor paint correction. Let's say this is part 2. Part 1 was a full ASMR video of the full wash, safe wash, decontamination stage, without any narration, without any music, just the sights and sounds of the detailing process. I need to get geared up now. I'm a bit delayed this afternoon. I'm going to get geared up with the polishing equipment, get some tape on the car to protect the vulnerable areas. And then we can take a look at the paintwork. How long this video will be, part 2, we'll have to wait and find out, but there's plenty of work to get stuck into, plenty of areas to rectify. And 1 or 2 odd findings in part 1, the wheels. If you saw part 1, the wheels look like the rears have been refurbished. There's red on the inside of the barrel. So ahead we've got a minor correction, engine bay treatments, full interior leather protection, wheel treatments, calipers, and Modesta BCO4 ceramic protection after the polishing stages. 2015 model, approaching 30,000 miles on the clock. The owner has only had the car for a fortnight, so lucky to get the car in with the booking process and the sale of the vehicle. Starting around on the offside, it's quite a forgiving colour, but you can still see there is, especially here, something's gone on there, something. Down the bottom here, not too bad, but then abrasions up top. The door, not too bad, but then you come into abrasions on the wing. We are going to find sander marks on this vehicle, being a Maserati, similar to Ferrari, flatted and polished at the factory. The intricate spots, the corners, the crevices, there are going to be areas where sander marks are present. Seen some already. At the bottom of the bonnet down here in this corner, for instance, a tight cluster, unfinished sander marks. If we look deep down into the centre, here you can see as well, pigtailing left behind. And the tighter to the edge you get, the heavier it becomes. That swage line there is completely flat. Just spotted some bad scratches here. This is a minor correction to do what we can in 2 or 3 cutting passes, but scratches up there. Top of the front bumper. An abrasion just above the headlight. Flat rub marks. Here, sander marks. Lower near side front wing. Lower section there again. Unfinished areas. Oh, even more here. Really flat there. The colour doesn't help. The colour doesn't help with the filming process actually. That's better. Once again the lens is disgusting. Once again we're battling the minor correction, how far to go, how far to take things within 1, maybe 2 cutting passes. I am happy to leave deeper marks, rounded off deep scratches behind. It isn't a perfect job, it is going to be 70 to 80% defect removal. But when you come across the sander marks, they are induced from a mechanical process. They're not scratches, they have been put there by somebody with a machine. So to me, they have to come out regardless of how many cuts it takes within the minor correction. And of course at the end of this job, this is going to be locked in with a bottle of Modesta's BCO4. So the best now, the better. But someone somewhere previously protected by Coating Farm ceramics, never heard of that, that will be coming out. But that's been applied over the top of all the damage with some form of prep, one would imagine. But what I can't afford to do is leave tight clusters of marks down here at the bottom, the A-pillar for example. Leave them behind if they don't come out of a single cut. Introduce a second, maybe third cut to clear them edges, just so the detail is true and tight and as one. The owner pointed out on the rear deck here, the spoiler, there is some lacquer peel on the edge of the carbon fibre, so that's an area to be very careful of. Normally, polishing the boot lid, you would tape this, but imagine the tape going down there. Pull the tape off, you could quite easily take a chunk of lacquer off with it. Whatever this bleb in the centre is, someone else has seen that and they've had a right good rub at it. See how dull it is now? The lacquer's been scratched from whoever, probably even in the lacquer, that mark. Marks there to chase out. The Maserati lettering at the back end, dirty, milky around the details in the S there, around the E, the R, all that needs cleansing, cleaning, sorting. A lot of previous registration glue to take off. On the rear bumper here, the rear diffuser section, this will all be treated with EPC, Modesta exterior plastic protection coating, later on, but there is polish residue evident, which I'd be better sorted this now before the surrounding paintwork is looking nice. That polish residue, there you are, polish residue. Get all that sorted and cleaned up before we start polishing perhaps. First sign of respray work here again at the back end of the bumper. Pointed this out to the owner at the time of dropping off. There's a lacquer line down the bottom here, masking mark, and then heavy edge down the side of the bumper. Fair bit of movement on the side skirt, driver's side, ankles, heels and toes, booting that over the years as people get in and out of the car. Carbon fibre mirror caps, a bit hologrammy, buffer trails. And then up on the roof, not much to report really. Some deeper scratches, pretty bad there. Another cluster here. Oh, the light has just caught that right. Down the offside A-pillar, all the way tight to the trim. Up here in the middle, it's sort of okay. As you go down, as the A-pillar rolls, sender marks present, left behind from factory, and then pretty much back to where we started. Right, good, back to normal. Okay, I've spent the last 6 hours in silence because I've been doing the ASMR video. But now, headphones on, start some polishing, report back in a bit, and it's nearing the end of the day to be honest. So 4 p.m. I will update the owner with a quick WhatsApp video at the end of the day. It's going to be 7, getting on 8 p.m. just to try and get a head start and some progress for the rest of the week. Majority of the front near side of wing complete now, 3-inch, 1-inch, you've just seen the hybrid. A lot of these problems that are remaining on this car are because the detail areas, the hybrid difficult areas haven't been addressed. Need to replace this by the way, PPF stone guard down there. So as you can see, yeah, pretty nice. Minor correction, that's just had one pass. That is in a nice easy area. Not quite as good on the wheel arch edge. Just about see a few little lines, a bit of broken sender mark still present on the very edge there. So I'm just going to mark that and come back to that and address that. And then the bulk of sender marks that were here, similar story down here, 90% sorted. But on the very, very edge, as we go up, there, just a few pigtails left. So run the hybrid, rerun the hybrid, move on to the door. At this stage in the cutting phase, there's always going to be need for further polishing and further refining. What I mean by that is the bloominess off the light. It's not quite sharp, it's not quite there, but it's pretty good. Pleased with that. There are a few fellas like this one, a few random deeper scratches. Remember, this is a minor correction, but what I want to do is chase all the sander marks. So that is a success. Tight to the corners, in the intricate spots, the intricate areas, down the sides, bottom corners, top corners. Hand polish behind the handle. The carbon fiber has just received a very, very light cut that will be polished by hybrid later again. But that's the door complete. Door, wing. Gonna start on the rear wing now. The time is not 8:45. The battery's died. The time 5:15. It's gone 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Just finished this near side carbon fibre mirror, and that is that entire side now cut. Done some hybrid work in the back end on the light lenses, done the side skirt. Haven't yet taken the near side stone guard off. That is coming off. I'm just waiting on confirmation of a new piece being shipped out so I can replace it, so it's staying there for the time being. Otherwise, a lot of gloss added even at this early stage. The near side is looking good. Progress, considering it was a late start with the polishing, it isn't too bad. Carbon fibre mirror cap, sharp. No more holograms or buffer trails as you saw earlier on. Look at that lot. Bit of a trick, by the way, if you're struggling to photograph or even to see defects, or if you're doing an assessment and you're doing a quotation. Turn the lights off. Forced direct lighting is really the only way or the best way to show the damage and defects. If there is light and reflections pouring in through the windows or lights, the defects can be sort of ballooned or hidden from the light itself. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. That's interesting. Two parts in the door there, two really flat areas. Another trick, we've seen this before, but with the light direct, you're struggling to see them areas. You can see them if you just work it out there, but go top down. Easy to see. Same as that scratch there. Good, right. See you in the morning. One 3-inch polishing pass and multiple 1-inch hybrid polishing passes later. That is the offside A-pillar. Looking where it should be. Minor correction. That's the roof complete. I'm going to tackle this scratch again. Do that once over. That's particularly bad. I've got to about there. I'm working back now onto the rear wing. Got 2 new stone guards, near side, offside, on the way. This offside, albeit pretty good. There are a few impacts. There's a bubble here. So, whip that off, top, bottom, polish correct. Apply when they get here. A credit and thank you to Huntsmith Detailing for supplying the film. The majority of the haziness here is caused by sander mops. I've done the left hand side of the badge, which you can see the clarity is there, the sharpness is there, the gloss, which improved as soon as you come this side. All that is lost by a mottled bed of sander marks, bug etchings, swirls and scratches. Particularly bad around the badge, where someone's not been able to polish properly, or below the badge, until the car visited Little Jim White in Lincolnshire. Under the headlight here, the washer jet cover. Laced in sander marks there as well. The last little piece on the front bumper is here. Oop, sander marks. More of a rub, really. Something's been pushed against there. I need to mask off the mesh once again and push the hybrid across there. Sort that out. Very dull. The bonnet's a bit of a complicated one, a few challenges posed here, not just the vents itself, but the central muscle, what would you call that, scoop. And then the concave line that runs up here. 5-inch doesn't get in there, 3-inch can skim that. We've got 1-inch work to do around here and on the top of the ledge, obviously in here itself, around the vent. Sander marks in the corners, but hopefully you can see where I've been. Tight to the edges and the bottom corners. Bumper finalised and finished as well. Just spotted in the bottom of the channel here a few pigtails and sander marks. That's what I'm saying about the concave, how it drops down. The pad doesn't quite get, so I'm going to run that again. Again, it's these stuff I want to get out, it's that stuff I need to shift, whereas a minor correction, leaving the odd scratch, a rounded off scratch here. A major correction, I'll chase and paint perfection, where it's safe and possible to do so. But the sander marks for me they've got to go. Whatever. God, why don't I need to take them off? Right, that is still no battery in the clock. 6:35 PM Tuesday. Still got the boot lid to cut and the offside side skirt. For the rest of the night, I'm fed up with polishing, so I'm going to go on, remove the PPF sections on the side skirts. I've had confirmation that they will be with me tomorrow, the new sides, and then sort out all the registration glue at the back end so I can cut that and complete the cutting tomorrow on the boot lid. Got the carbon fibre spoiler to watch out for as well. There's the lacquer peel on top there, but it's shaping up very well indeed. One bonnet cut complete. If you thought it looked good before under the lights, knowing that there were defects and bits of damage there, then now it's rather splendid. Only going to get better as well. Get better with the refining, get better with the primer, Modesta BCO4, and then topped once again with BCO4. The deep scratches that were in the middle, heavily reduced nicely. Reminds me, still got the one up on the roof to sort out. But that'll do for the camera tonight. I've got a bunch of emails, and then I'm gonna actually start compiling the footage of the Maserati for the ASMR wash video. The last 5 minutes have been spent on the back end removing the excess residue from the tape. That's now ready for polishing tomorrow. So I've got the boot lid, the rear bumper, got the black plastic to sort as well, the polish residue before that is masked up and polished. Top of the boot lid and the spoiler, and in and around the Maserati letters. That needs sorting in there as well. A nice little hack that, the ability to cleanse, clean in and around the letters on badges and emblems on the side there. You saw that I think earlier on. But using a combination of Kamikaze Collections water spot remover and or their silica scale remover if it's particularly bad, alongside a mini detail factory brush. These are extremely soft. Dribble some of the product onto the brush, dribble some over the affected area, agitate it, allow it to sit, dab up the excess, blow the excess away, give it a wipe. Job's a good one. What I do need to do still, however, is you're never going to correct the paint behind the badge in terms of the swirls, and that channel between the badge and the chrome strip is too small to put the hybrid into, but all we can do is try and finger polish that little edge there, and then hybrid the rest and the spoiler. boot, lights, registration surround, all now cut. Got the bumper, PPF side straight to polish, the PPF side straight to polish. You can see how bad the paint is cut up. This is obviously going to be rectified and sorted with the polishing stage, the refining stage, and you can see also where the track of the 3-inch. So 5-inch. The 5-inch was split into one central pass here, three 5-inch passes, and then edge work of course with the 3-inch down, as you can see there, and then the hybrid just slotted into this little, because the 3-inch doesn't quite sit nice down there. So all the edges tight, true, sharp, ready for refining. Cut and complete, time to tackle the engine bay before we think about some refining. That isn't going to be finished today, that's going to be going into tomorrow. Oh. Although the initial clean under the bonnet has been done already outside, I'm going to do more of a thorough clean in areas that I don't want to get water too close to or too nearby, for obvious reasons. So it's going to be one of these, pair of these, a decent dressing, a vehicle blower, a couple of towels, and probably about an hour's time. Not forgetting, of course, the majority of the engine bay. I would say 70% of is actually covered by the big plastics down here. But it's still nice to know it's done underneath. That's stage one complete. Water-based dressing blown into the cracks and crevices and worked with a couple of small cut down sections of microfiber to really spread the dressing and at the same time do some deeper cleaning and agitation on the surfaces. Next, I'm going to tidy up the cover here, get all these bits done, probably the underside of it as well. The battery terminal and the fuse box terminal covers there. There you go, up on the top surface section. And then we'll get 101 screws back in. Refining started, Cartex Final Cut 9000 on the bonnet, left hand side, complete. Middle bit still to do. This gives you a good idea of what I covered with a 5-inch pad. In this instance, the Cartex Polishing Pro yellow pad on the Duetto. 5-inch fine, 5-inch fine, fine, a little bit fine here. 3-inch now, you can see where I'm going to fill the gaps. 3-inch up and across, runs across. That is hybrid, as is this, but the 3-inch can sort of come down there and up the side. Whoops. 3-inch down the bottom and back up. Then the hybrid goes on that face. It comes in that little channel there, down deep into the cove. Maybe a bit here, but that's where we're at. Pretty nice, huh? Minor paint correction. No more sander marks, no more nasty edges or surprises, as it should have been from the factory. Quite a nice example, 2 different panels, 2 different states of polishing. The right hand side being cut on the majority defect free, the left hand side is refined and sharp. Interior time, taking the carpets out or the floor mats. That's an odd thing to find. 400 grit wet and dry sandpaper. Whether that's anything to do with the owner, I don't know. Floor mats, yeah, need of a good scrub. Get some fabric protection on them also. And interior wise, initially it looks kind of good. May have had something applied to that already. It's a little bit shiny. The black leather obviously doesn't show the dirt as well as a cream or an ivory, but certainly looking a bit shiny again, and shiny leather is dirty leather. This will all be cleansed properly, flushed out in the cracks and the crevices, and get all this blown down the sides. If you're ever struggling to clean these sort of materials and it's a bit of a tedious task, just blast the airline in there, and pretty much you get the majority in one. Some protective wrapping still on that panel. Probably a fuse box or something under there. This looks very dusty back here. Yeah. Obviously that one's doing for the glass, because typically you're going to smudge the glass when you do that rear parcel shelf. That's a bit crabby down there. Why is that carbon fibre? What's that? Oh, Isofix. Army. Ugh. Hello. Again, airline. It's very difficult to get that open enough for a vac attachment to get down there, but if you blast it, yes, you're going to push it into other places, but then it's typically easier to access. Nice tight line of dirt there. That's sorted. Oh, that's nasty. What's happened there? Something's been sprayed or spilt or tie line there as well on the edge of the steering wheel. There we go. I always struggle to film interior footage. No. Good afternoon, WhiteDetails. This is the colour of the rinse water. Just after the door cards, the plastics, the console, dashboard, seat recliners, that sort of stuff. Next up, probably gonna go leather. Refill the bucket, sort the leather out. It's all this, I say plastic, most of it's leather anyway, or vinyl. It's not exactly leather. Door card looking a little bit better. The shelf back there, it's probably where the majority of the dirt and dust came from. So leather next, then the carpets, sort the mats, and I guess all the carbon fibre shiny bits, that will be done as a very final sort of after. Colour of the rinse water before. That's the first time today I've been warm. Get a bit of a pump from doing that. Still got it. Rinse water after the leather. Next. Interior is work in progress, still needs some finishing off there. I've finished the polishing, obviously the paint work and some touch-ups. Now, just doing the calipers with Auto Finesse Triple and a light cleanse polish before they will get coated tomorrow with the wheels. I'm at a bit of a loose end, really. I've got to get the PPF down before I can do the paint coatings. That's now ready. But the PPF needs to go down. Ryan kindly ships it on today's Friday, I think Tuesday, for next day delivery for Wednesday. I don't know. It should have been here by now. Not our fault. It's caught up in the whole Royal Mail coronavirus staff shortages and all that. Unfortunately, that's all I can do at this point now. I was hoping the job to be wrapped up by end of play today, Friday. Seeing as though I only quoted for this vehicle for 4 days, a minor correction, engine bay, interior and wheels with Modesta coatings, should easily be a 4-day job, but this has turned into a white detail almost. So I'm still waiting for the delivery of the PPF, and nothing else can happen until that is down. So ideally first thing the PPF arrives in the post, Royal Mail, so I can put the coatings over the top and the rest of the car, and then cure it, and then apply M1 shot.
Remember the clump of sender marks that were there somewhere? Hey. Pin sharp clarity now. All of the trim has been treated now. You saw the wind mirror bases being done. Modesta's EPC, exterior plastic coating, and then the lower diffuser sections looking much sharper. And that continues underneath, as well as the exhausts.
No. I think we've plugged collecting cars a bit, and I think you've done a great job. I really do. I sit back and watch it.
Podcast is Chris Harris's Collecting Cars podcast with Ed Lovett. Really enjoying it. In a minute, there's multiple episodes, and I've done about a dozen this week. Thank you to Rich Harmon of Refined Details for the heads up on that one. A few people asked me on messages what music, what playlists, what podcasts do you listen to? And podcasts over music, it's nice because it actually takes you away. You're engaged in a conversation, you're listening to voice as opposed to just repetitive tunes and rhythm. But yeah, apologies for the abrupt end. Today, Thursday, the last time I worked on the Maserati was Friday last week. There's been a few days where there was a delay on the delivery of the PPF sections for the stone guard down here. But the PPF sections finally arrived, got them fitted yesterday, today, Thursday, coatings have gone down, glass has just been done, and the last thing to do now to the car is wipe the vehicle down with M1 Shot, Modesta's top coat. I'll try and pick up the owner's reaction to when they pick the vehicle up, and speaking of reaction videos, there are probably two now I'd like to share. The first is for an E46 M3, which is a couple of weeks ago now, a minor paint correction with engine bay wheels off treatments. The owner, absolutely besotted by the car, has the car for the last 12 years, knew the car inside out, and was finding it hard to justify the expense for having the detailing done. And he was having the mickey taken out of him by his mates for sort of saying, why are you spending X amounts of thousands of pounds on having your car detailed? It looks great as it is. This was his reaction, and apologies for the rustling of the phone on my jacket.
Oh my god. It's a little bit emotional actually. Well, that's fucking cracking, mate. That is. I'm really chuffed with that.
And then more recently, actually Monday, Tuesday this week, I had a blue Peugeot Bipper, a little two-seater panel van, which is something completely different to the sports and prestige that's otherwise coming through the doors here. A phone call came through. It's the customer's dog vehicle, transports the dog around, and just wanted a minor correction. Has been hooked to the channel, wanted some ceramic protection for the winter and beyond. Can you do a price? Yeah, no problem at all. There's the quote, perfect. When can you book me in? I have to say, it made a refreshing change to work on something different like that. The owner, again, very impressed with the turnaround, as you'll hear now. Apologies for the profanity.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yes.
Holy shit, look at that. Fuck's sake, mate, that looks like brand new.
Certainly a bit different. Different to work on as well. Enjoyable, actually.
Oh, fuck! I'm speechless. Fuck's sake.
Excuse my French.
No, you're welcome. It's alright.
It's good to hear.
So if you've enjoyed this content, please of course consider subscribing to the channel. Find me on Instagram for behind the scenes White Details updates and insights at White Details on Instagram. Take it easy. See you soon. probably had it on when you were there.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, you are. No, it's not. It's all better when it's picked up.
They look nice when it's picked up, but
Yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah, that's proper. Look at that. Fabulous.